Hey, greetings from some sketchy cliff face in Vermont. What am I doing here? You're probably wondering, and the answer is quite simple. Tracking down a really cool, fascinating carnivorous plant in the family Lentibulariaceae. And that's it right there. Unfortunately for me, it is done blooming for the year. I think this sun-scorched slope at a relatively modest, we'll say about, I reckon this is about 2,000 feet above sea level, maybe a little bit higher, maybe closer to 2,500 feet above sea level. And he's done, he's fried. So I'm gonna get over there. I'm on the phone just because this is exceptionally sketchy and I don't feel like breaking anything or getting maimed. I've already had enough bad luck as it is. It's also 90 something degrees and I'm getting cooked in the sun. So we'll look at a couple of these real interesting things. This habitat is outstanding. And we'll look at a couple of the things here. And then in all honesty, we'll get ourselves down off of this. 1 second, I'm gonna maneuver my way over to this Butterwort to show you. Okay, so here he is. Here is Trichophorum vulgaris, the common butterwort. And in New England, he's anything but. So like I said, this is in the family Lentibulariaceae, same family as bladderworts, which are also carnivorous plants, but aquatic ones. Those guys have their leaves modified into little bubble traps, basically. I don't know how else to describe them. This guy, however, as you can see from the amount of debris he's accumulating, is fond of trapping stuff in his sticky leaves. As you can see, the preferred habitat of these is basically just wet, open, sunny calcareous cliff face, which is far from premium here in New England. In fact, quite rare. This might be, one of only a handful of sites, certainly one of the only ones that's even moderately accessible. I mean, probably a ton of them growing all the way up there. Obviously, we won't be doing that. We'll be staying down here where it's at least somewhat accessible, and I could still hear the road if I've fallen. I'm not even going to entertain the thought. So sticky-leaved little Utricularia, a lot of tropical species. This is not a rare plant out there in Europe. It's circumboreal. In New England, it only occurs in tiny number of locations, most of which are not even accessible. Little purple flower would be on the thing if it was still in bloom. Unfortunately, it's not. But that's a shame. Maybe tomorrow we'll have better luck. I might go someplace a little bit higher up and a little bit more sheltered, where this is just a bit easier. I was under the impression this was the easy spot to get to it, but we'll see what tomorrow brings. So anyway, just this habitat is remarkable. As you can see, ferns, moss, liverworts, lichen on everything. Just a constant, steady drip, which is what this plant needs to survive. It's not going to, be a sphagnum dweller like a lot of the other carnivorous plants of the region are. Just a real interesting habitat and niche that it occupies. And then obviously, that's why it's doing the sticky-leaved thing. It's got to have the sticky leaves to get the nitrogen fix. Everybody has to run a scam. As you can see, even when you zoom out, there's no real competition this thing faces. It's full sun, a lithophyte just coming right out of this nice calcareous. Maybe this is shale, maybe this is slate. I'm not quite sure. I can verify that after. But he's got no competition there, and he can just grab insects with his leaves all day, happy as a clam. Some of them are in a bit more shade, and really my only regret is that the bastard's not a fucking flower. But I mean, oh my God, it is sketchy being here. I'll say that, it is sketchy. You get some sort of cool little rue here, some type of Thalictrum, some type of solidago. Supposedly there's a real neat fern that grows over here, but I'll be honest, I'm gonna make this a quick one. I don't really feel like poking around here much longer than I have to. The two other locations where this allegedly can be found in New Hampshire, again we're in Vermont right now, are you would need full send climbing gear to access the plant. You're not gonna go on a little walk and just stumble across this thing in New England, at least not as far as I know. So I'll cut that there. I'll mosey on over to here. just to give you an idea some of the other stuff you got going on. There's actually, now that I'm looking around, you can see there's pretty small plants. They're kind of hanging, beating and bopping everywhere. There's some cool stuff down the cliff from here that I'll show you. We'll probably keep this short, but yeah, shame it's not in bloom, because I just think I'm gonna have another shot to show it to you tomorrow. We'll see what happens though. Hey, I didn't talk about this in the video while I was filming because I didn't truly appreciate it, but I gotta give a shout out to this plant. This grass-like thing you see growing in the background of pretty much every shot, not a grass at all. That's actually a sedge. This is Trichophorum cespitosum. Again, another species significantly more common in Europe, significantly more common in the Arctic, just eking out an existence here on this high elevation, open slope. I read a little bit about it. Apparently it does like acidic stuff as well. I think it's more springing for the nutrient poor. Who's to say? Again, another one more common elsewhere outside of New England. This is pretty much the southernmost point. You see it in the eastern US. I'll put up a population map of like just like the east coast of the United States, because this thing is everywhere in Europe, but it does like the montane, Arctic, subarctic, yada yada yada. It's one of the most like high elevation growing plants in the UK. So like up there on like Ben Nevis and the Highlands and stuff. It's a real interesting plant. I didn't talk about it at all when I filmed it because I'm going to start getting more into sedges because they're really interesting and really cool. And a lot of them are pretty fucking rare. Just whatever, wanted to give it a shout out. Trichophorum cespitosum, Cyperaceae is the family. It's a really cool sedge. It doesn't grow many other places in New England. You get it in the White Mountains, you get it in the Green Mountains. That's about it. And then you got to go pretty far north to find it again. So just wanted to give it a shout out. Yeah, see, here are a couple growing a little bit more shaded. There's a baby one right there. That's cute. So yeah, just when you have a shit environment to grow in, but you can take stuff that very few other plants can take, you usually find some sort of gimmick to go with. Yeah, these are actually everywhere now that I'm looking. There's another one right there. There's a whole bunch clinging. And okay, I guess I was wrong. I guess they can grow amongst moss. Just a real shame. None of these are flowering. But whatever. What are you gonna do? You've got your Houstonia caerulea here, which grows seemingly everywhere. There's one we were just looking at. This cool grass. I'll have to get somebody to tell me what type of grass that is. But you know, where I'm going tomorrow, we cool maidenhair ferns over there. We'll go look at those on the way down. Let's in fact do that, because I'm getting kind of the heebie-jeebies. So anyway, I mean, it's from right here, it's not too bad. It looks worse than it is on camera. You get some nice, you know, a nice notch, evidence of the glacial history, but very different geology than a lot of the notches of, you know, New Hampshire's. So, you know, let's get down from here. We can at least say we saw the Butterwort for now, and we'll call it there. Well, we won't call it there. We'll go look at a couple more things. God, wouldn't you just love take a little shower in that? No Pinguicula over here for whatever reason. I think they get shaded out underneath the cliff face. But God, this is gonna take the cake for one of my more, I guess, ambitious. Is that the word? Ambitious expeditions. I mean, the Pinguicula is cool, but the habitat is also just freaking incredible. Jesus Christ. I'll move right in. Look at that overhang. I'll move right in right now. Vermont, you always bring the nice calcareous stuff. You don't get much of that where I'm from. Oh, what a cool habitat, man. I love Vermont. Yeah, I mean, what did I get today? A bunch of new orchids, the ping. What are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow is just gravy. Tomorrow we'll go see if we can hunt down a ping and flower. I might honestly just do that and head home. Still dealing with the fallout from all this car stuff. And, you know, I still do have to work a couple days extra this weekend, but you know, we'll see. Not extra. I got to cut. I only got the 2 days off in the middle of the week, you know. But we'll see what happens. I'm sweating like a pig. I gotta get off this cliff face, I think. So one thing I'd like you to appreciate is the fact that though we're actually rather high up and, you know, at a high latitude, no real conifers. This is a deciduous. Look at this, all deciduous trees on the side of this mountain. Oh, actually, I can see the ping from here. Can you see that little fucker? That's the that's where I was. So as I was saying, all hardwood stuff. That's something Vermont has. In New Hampshire, Eastern Maine, a lot of that stuff's oak pine woodland, and you get up high and you get up into like this, you know, subalpine stuff. Look at this gnarled old bastard. I don't know the species on that. I can't really see. The light's not too good. Looks like some kind of birch, which would you know, make sense actually. Birch, sugar maple through here, but you know, some of these mountains, these calcareous, you know, underlain by calcareous sediment have, you know, thuya growing as like a mountain slope if it gets damp enough. So maybe you get, you know, you get it in that department. But as far as, you know, no firs here, no firs, no red spruce, no pine, just good old deciduous hardwood, maples, birches, you're probably elms as well. That's just, you know, to me, that's weird. I don't know what else to say. To me, that's kind of weird for this area. All right, we gotta go down there. Let's not dilly-dally. Yeah, like this meadow-rue just looks like Thalictrum pubescens, and maybe it is. Maybe that's what the one up there was too. If so, you can see how these are really closely related to columbine. There was columbine up there, but it was a little too high for me to get to. Aquilegia canadensis and Thalictrum. Thalictroideae subfamily of Ranunculaceae. Probably my favorite, probably my favorite subfamily of that, you know, the buttercup family. See, those are the ones down there. Maybe it just was. Maybe it was just the Thalictrum pubescens. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a pretty versatile and cool plant, and lots of variation in how it can look, just within the genus. Thalictrum in general, and columbine, Thalictroideae. Lots of quote-unquote phenotypic variation, which me and my orchid buddy were getting into today, talking about one of the Blatantheras we saw, but we're not talking about Blatanthera right now. How'd you like to send it down this? Huh? Are you an ice coaster? I'm an ice coaster. I would send it down this though. I'm not stupid. And yeah, as you can see, lots of maples. So, I mean, I'm just dilly-dallying. I should really get out of the sun. This stuff will rot your brain, you know. Hey, check it out. Well past flowering at this point, but that was Micranthes pennsylvanica. Grows in this habitat and grows right in the little lime kiln. It's basically in my backyard. How about that? Got a cool little grass here. Maybe I can at least figure out the genus. This wasn't growing up there, but it's growing down here in the shade, still out of the moss on top of this nice calcareous rock. A familiar friend, Micranthes pennsylvanica. That's an, oh, sorry, Virginica or Virginiensis. Pennsylvanica is the swamp saxifrage. Virginica is the one that is the lithophyte. You can't really see the basil leaves from here, but believe me, he's got a little set of basil leaves and a nice big flowering stalk. Really cool plant. Okay, here are two troublemakers. You get a cool adiantum maidenhair fern, beautiful, one of my favorites. I think it's pedatum or peltatum. Pedatum, I think. I can never remember. And then a real neat urticaceous thing right here. I think this is Laporia canadensis, a wood nettle. And I don't believe it stings, but those are the flowers right there. Urticaceae, same family as Urtica dioica, the stinging nettle of stinging fame. I don't know how else I would have walked my way out of that sentence, but I don't think these ones sting. I'm touching it right now and it's not stinging me, but distant relative of elms, roses, cannabis, I think figs too. They all occupy this cool clade in the order Rosales. The four families of them do. Ulmaceae, Urticaceae, Cannabaceae, and Moraceae. So closely related to figs, elms, and cannabis. Well, not closely, but distantly related. You get the idea. Love this fern though. I saw this elsewhere today, along with some other interesting eusebrangiate ferns, Botrychium or Botrypis, whatever the genus it is now. Anyway, it's actually getting dark surprisingly fast because the sun dipped behind. Show you one more thing on the way out, and then it'll be quick. We'll be done with this for the day. Yeah, good God! Now that's an erratic right there, if I ever did see one. Imagine that thing breaking off the cliff we were just standing at, about 600-700 feet above us, just tumbling down and just sploot, parked itself right there. Nice big chunk of something. I can't tell. It's all covered in moss. I went up there and I tried to look, but that's about the size of a house right there. That's nice. I'm not just saying that. That's real. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. To think that there's actually bigger ones in New Hampshire is actually kind of insane. But this one was not likely a glacial erratic. This probably tumbled down off of the cliff above. You know, slightly different origin. You can see here's one on the other side. Look at that nice seam. Nice seams of quartz. So probably got some sandstone in here. Is this easily breakable? It's not. I mean, it's probably cooked, whatever it is. It's not just pure limestone or shale. It's probably, you know, definitely something sedimentary. You can tell that just from the bedding of it. But obviously, having tumbled down here, definitely having been cooked at one point, because there's quartz seams in it. You know, it's had a long life since it was probably laid down. You know, the Vermont, parts of Western Mass and Connecticut, it was all an open. It was like a failed rift valley at one point. So you get some cool, you know, volcanics there. You get cool sedimentary rocks. You know, the White Mountains are interesting too. Where I came up, you don't hear me talk about it all. That was a intrusive plutonic granite, which if you were out west would be significantly more interesting. But we got tons of granite and, you know, metamorphic rock out east, especially metamorphic volcanic rock. I'll keep yapping because I'll stop yapping because I'm gonna miss the last plant I wanted to show you if I don't pay attention here. So hang on one second. Oh no, this was unexpected. This isn't what I thought I was gonna show you, but this is cool. This is a borage. This is Hydrophyllum virginianum, Virginia waterleaf. Not even on my radar this year, but one I can show you. Look at those nice anthers sticking out there. Oh, it's dust and pollen everywhere. Oh, it's fuzzy. Look at oh yeah, that's nice. Hang on, look at that calyx. That's a cool plant right there. Leaves are real interesting too. Hydrophyllaceae. I thought this was in its own family, but I guess iNaturalist says it's in Boraginaceae. Oh, I'm in love with you. Persistent styles sticking out after it's pollinated. You're past due, probably because you're hiding in this nice damp forest. Oh, that's a nice treat. Not one I was expecting to get to know. Virginia waterleaf. That's the common name. I wish I had some more quips on this one, but I tragically do not for right now. But, you know, I could put some more information down below. I can come back tomorrow and talk about it again if I really want to. Looks like that's forming a little stand here in the corner, kind of in the shade of this boulder. Nice. See, that's the thing. You don't always know everything you're gonna see in a day. So cool. Another new plant on the board. This was not even on my radar. I know virtually nothing. Boraginaceae is not really, you know, my cup of tea, especially living where I live. Just not a big family out here. So anyway, if you live a little bit, just slightly south of New England, you probably know Micranthes virginiana, the Virginia bluebells. That allegedly that's the same family, though I always thought this was in its own family in the order Boraginales. Is there even an order Boraginales? I'll straighten all this out. Just the Hydrophyllum. That's all you got to worry about for right now. Beautiful little plant. Really, really just love those calyces. How could you not? Look at that. Oh my God. Well, I was looking for, I could have sworn that I passed a bunch of, Canadian ginger, Astrum canadense, but I couldn't relocate it, so we'll call it there. Nice spring coming out the bottom of where the, you know, up above where the cliff basically just spewing out this torrent of water. Get some Got some little Saxifragiaceae relatives there. Another Micranthes. What am I thinking of? Tiarella, foam flower growing. Supposedly, I'm looking for orchids here, but I don't think the lighting is quite good enough, so we're gonna call it there. Call it a day.